The perineum. It is the lowest region of the trunk below the pelvic diaphragm. So the perineum is a region between the pelvic diaphragm and the pelvic outlet. It is traversed by urethra and anal canal in the male and vagina, urethra and anal canal in the female. The surface features of the perineum in the male are penis, scrotum and anal orifice, whereas the surface features of the perineum in the female are vulva, that are the external genitalia that are known as vulva, and anal orifice. The median region between the vaginal orifice and the anal orifice in a female containing the perineal body here is considered as a gynecological perineum. So gynecological perineum is the area between the vaginal orifice and the anal orifice. Now boundaries of the perineum. The perineum has superficial and deep boundaries. In lithotomy position, this is the lithotomy position, the perineum is diamond shaped. It is diamond shaped and it is bounded anteriorly by the scrotum in male and mons pubis in female. Posteriorly it is bounded by buttocks. It is bounded posteriorly by the buttocks. On each side it is bounded by the upper medial aspect of the thigh. Upper medial aspect of the thigh. So these were the superficial boundaries. Now the deep boundaries. Anteriorly, the deep boundary is formed by the inferior margin of the pubic symphysis, more precisely the arcuate pubic ligament. Posteriorly, it is bounded by the tip of the coccyx. On each side, anterolaterally, it is bounded by the conjoint ischiopubic ramus that you will learn in the hip bone. The conjoint ischiopubic ramus. Laterally, it is bounded by the ischial tuberosity, and posterolaterally it is bounded by the sacrotuberous ligament. So deep boundaries are the inferior margin of pubic symphysis, posteriorly tip of the coccyx, anterolaterally by the conjoint ischiopubic ramus, posterolaterally by the sacrotuberous ligament, and laterally by the ischial tuberosity. Now divisions of the perineum. The perineum is divided into two triangles, anterior urogenital triangle or anterior perineum and posterior anal triangle or posterior perineum, by a horizontal plane passing through the anterior end of the ischial tuberosities. The urogenital triangle is traversed by urethra in male and urethra and the urethra and vagina in female, while as the anal triangle, it is traversed by the anal canal in both males and females. Now urogenital triangle. Urogenital triangle is a triangular area between the ischiopubic rami in front of a horizontal line joining the anterior ends of the ischial tuberosities. It consists of superficial and deep perineal pouches. On the surface, the urogenital triangle presents penis and scrotum in male and external genitalia and orifices of the urethra and vagina in females. Now, cutaneous innervation of the perineum of the urogenital region. The cutaneous innervation of the urogenital region or the anterior perineum, first of all, it is supplied by the dorsal nerve of the penis. This dorsal nerve of the penis is a branch of pudendal nerve, and it supplies the skin of the penis or clitoris or clitoris, except it is root. Now, ilioinguinal nerve and genital branch of genitofemoral nerve. These nerves supply the skin of the anterior one-third of the scrotum or labium majus and root of the penis or scrotum, root of the penis or clitoris. Now, another is the perineal branch of the posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh. The perineal branch of posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh, it supplies the lateral part of the posterior two-thirds of scrotum or labium majus. Now, last is the posterior scrotal nerve. These nerves supply the skin of the median part of the urogenital region. Median part of the urogenital region is supplied by posterior scrotal nerve or posterior labial nerve. Now, what are superficial and deep perineal pouches? Now, perineal membrane is a triangular facial sheath that stretches across this triangle. It's a triangular sheath that stretches across this triangle and is attached to its sides. So, this is the perineal membrane. The posterior margin of perineal membrane is fused centrally with the perineal body. The anterior margin of the perineal membrane thickens to form the transverse perineal ligament. A small gap between this ligament and the arcuate pubic ligament is traversed by the deep dorsal vein of the penis. Now, this perineal membrane, it is pierced by the urethra in males and by the urethra and vagina in the females. Now, above the perineal membrane, the urethra is surrounded by, this is a green color perineal membrane. Above this perineal membrane, the urethra, as you see, this is the membranous urethra. This is surrounded by a voluntary sphincter urethral muscle that is known as superficial urethral sphincter. In females, the superficial urethral sphincter is also pierced by vagina. The deeper aspect of this external sphincter is also called the deep perineal pouch. So the deeper aspect of this external sphincter or deep perineal pouch is covered by a thin fascia which is continuous with the posterior edge of the perineal membrane and is attached to the sides of the ischiopubic rami. Thus, this sphincter urethra is in fact contained within the facial capsule, which is termed as deep perineal pouch. So, this sphincter urethra is also known as deep perineal pouch. This deep perineal pouch contains the deep transverse perineal muscles in males by the two bulbourethral glands or glands of Cooper. As you see these round structures, these are the bulbourethral glands or glands of Cooper, whose ducts pass forwards, piercing the perineal membrane to open into the bulbous urethra. Now the membranous layer of the superficial fascia of the scrotum, superficial fascia of the abdomen, that is known as Scarpa's fascia, surrounds the penis as far as at its neck to form the tube-like fascia of the penis. The scrotum, it also surrounds the scrotum, and finally in the perineum it fuses with the posterior edge of the perineal membrane. So this inferior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm or deep perineal pouch, this inferior fascia of deep perineal pouch or uh, this inferior deep perineal pouch, it's also called perineal membrane. So this Colles fascia, that is the fascia of the perineum, is joined with the perineal membrane or inferior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm. So it forms a pouch-like this area that is known as superficial perineal pouch. This superficial perineal pouch, this is the superficial perineal pouch that is below the perineal membrane. So this superficial perineal pouch, it contains the root of the penis. You can see root of the penis and some muscles that is bulbospongiosus covering the bulb of the penis, ischiocavernosus. This is the ischiocavernosus on each side covering the crus of the penis, and superficial transverse perineal muscle on each side running transversely from the perineal body to the ischial ramus. Now, in summary, this is the urogenital diaphragm or deep perineal pouch. It has a superior fascia and inferior fascia. Inferior fascia is also known as perineal membrane, and this perineal membrane is fused with the Colles fascia to form the superficial perineal pouch. And superior to the perineal membrane, between the superior fascia and the perineal membrane, is a deep perineal pouch. Now contents of the deep perineal pouch. First important content is the membranous urethra. It is 1.5 to 2 centimeters long and runs downwards and forwards through the deep perineal pouch. It pierces the perineal membrane about 2.5 centimeters. So this membranous urethra, it pierces the perineal membrane about 2.5 centimeters behind the pubic symphysis. This membranous urethra, it is the narrowest and least dilatable part of the urethra. Another content of the deep perineal pouch is the sphincter urethrae muscle. It surrounds the membranous part of the urethra in male and urethra and vagina in female. The sphincter urethrae muscle, it forms the voluntary external urethral sphincter. Another content is the deep transverse perineal muscles. Deep transverse perineal muscle is situated posterior to the sphincter urethra on each side. It arises from the ramus of the ischium and inserted into the perineal body. Another content of the deep perineal pouch or the urogenital diaphragm is the bulbourethral glands. They lie on each side of the membranous urethra. They are about 1 centimeters in diameter. The ducts of the bulbourethral glands that are 2.5 centimeters long, these pierce the perineal membrane to open into the bulb of the urethra. These bulbourethral glands contribute a small amount to the seminal fluid. Now another content of the deep perineal pouch or the urogenital diaphragm are the branches of internal pudendal vessels and pudendal nerves. So this was about the deep perineal pouch or the urogenital diaphragm that lies between the superior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm and the inferior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm. That inferior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm is also known as perineal membrane. So this area is the deep perineal pouch. Contents are the membranous urethra, sphincter urethrae muscle, deep transverse perineal muscles, bulbourethral glands, and branches of the internal pudendal vessels and pudendal nerve. Now we will discuss the superficial perineal pouch. The superficial perineal pouch, it lies between the perineal membrane and the Colles fascia. Inferiorly lies the Colles fascia and superiorly lies the perineal membrane. Now contents in the females, we have the root of the clitoris. The root of the clitoris is made of three muscles of erectile tissue called the bulb of the vestibule, that corresponds to the bulb of the penis, but is divided into two halves by the vagina, two halves, left half and right half, by the vagina. The bulbs lie on either side of the vagina and urethra, superficial to the perineal membrane. Their tapering anterior ends unite in front of the urethra by a plexus of veins that is called bulbar commissure, and this continues as a strip of erectile tissue into the glans of the clitoris. So this is the glans of the clitoris. Each bulb of the vestibule is attached to the inferior surface of the perineal membrane, and it is covered by the bulbospongiosus muscle. This is the bulbospongiosus muscle that covers the bulb of the vestibule. Now crura of the clitoris, these are the right crus and left crus of the clitoris. The right crus in the diagram is covered by the ischiocavernosus. The crura of clitoris correspond to the crura of the penis. Each crus is covered by the ischiocavernosus muscle. You can see the right ischiocavernosus muscle. The left ischiocavernosus muscle is removed. Now these are the contents of the superficial perineal pouch. Another content is the greater vestibular glands. These are the contents of superficial perineal pouch. These greater vestibular glands correspond to the bulbourethral glands in males. They are pea-shaped and less than 1 centimeter in diameter. Each gland opens by a single duct 2 centimeters long into the posterolateral part of the vaginal orifice. Posterolateral part of the vaginal orifice in a groove between the labium manus and the hymen. So these are the ducts of the greater vestibular glands. The secretions of these glands play a minor role in the lubrication of the vagina. So the bulbourethral glands are present in the deep perineal pouch in males, while as the greater vestibular glands in females, these are present in the superficial perineal pouch. Now another content of the superficial perineal pouch are the superficial transverse perineal muscles. They are narrow transverse slits of muscles one on each side of the perineal body. Each muscle arises from the ischial ramus, runs medially to be inserted into the perineal body. Now, last contents of the superficial perineal pouch are the branches of internal pudendal artery and pudendal nerve. Almost the urogenital diaphragm must be clear to you. Some more things we will add in that. This urogenital diaphragm, it's a triangular sheath of formed by the sphincter urethrae. It is formed by sphincter urethrae and deep transverse perineal muscles. On the deeper aspect, it is covered by a thin layer of endopelvic fascia that forms the superior fascia of urogenital diaphragm, this yellow color. And on the superficial aspect, it is covered by the perineal membrane, that is the inferior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm. So this urogenital diaphragm, it is formed by the deep transverse perineal muscle and sphincter urethrae muscles. This triangular diaphragm occupies the urogenital triangle with its apex behind the pubic symphysis and its sides attached to the ischiopubic rami. It is pierced by the urethra in the male and by urethra and vagina in female, and it contains the bulbourethral glands in the males. Now I want to make it clear the perineal membrane. I will repeat it. It is the very strong triangular membrane or a fascial sheath that stretches across the urogenital triangle between the ischiopubic rami at the sides. It intervenes between the superficial perineal pouch below and deep perineal pouch above. So this perineal membrane, it intervenes between the superficial perineal pouch below and the deep perineal pouch above. In front, it is thickened to form the transverse perineal ligament and is continuous with the superior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm, as already told to you. Behind, it is fixed to the perineal body in the midline, and it splits into two layers. The upper layer is continuous with the superior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm, and the lower layer is continuous with the Colles fascia. Now, structures that pierce the perineal membrane. First is the posterior sucrotal or posterior labial nerves and vessels on each side at the base. Posterior sucrotal vessels and nerves in males, while as posterior labial vessels and nerves in females. Another structure that pierces the perineal membrane is the deep artery of the penis or the deep artery of clitoris, near the middle of the attached margin. Another structure is the dorsal artery of the penis or dorsal artery of the clitoris near the anterior part of its attached margin. Now urethra, it also pierces it, as already told you, in the midline. Urethra in the midline, ducts of the bulbourethral glands, artery to the bulb of the penis or bulb of the vestibule of vagina on each side of the urethra, and vagina in the female behind the urethra. Now, perineal body. What is perineal body? We were discussing about the perineal body. Now, what is this perineal body? This orange colored rounded structure as you see in the diagram. It is a perineal body. It is a wedge-shaped mass of fibromuscular tissue situated in the midline at the junction of urogenital triangle and the anal triangle. It lies about 1.25 centimeters in front of the anal margin, close to the bulb of the penis in male and posterior wall of vestibule of vagina in female. The 10 muscles of perineum converge and interlace in the perineal body. So what are these muscles that form this perineal body? These are the two superficial transverse perineal muscles, two deep transverse perineal muscles, two bulbourethral bulbospongiosum muscles, two levator ani muscles, one sphincter ani muscle, and lastly the longitudinal muscle coat of the anal canal. So these muscles interlace in the midline to form the perineal body. Now what is the clinical importance of this perineal body? So it may be damaged. The perineal body is extremely important in females in maintaining the integrity of the pelvic diaphragm and providing support to the pelvic organs. It may be damaged due to the childbirth. This may lead to prolapse of the uterus, bladder and rectum. Now what is episiotomy? Episiotomy is an incision given in the perineum to enlarge the vaginal orifice to facilitate the childbirth. To enlarge the vaginal orifice to facilitate the childbirth. There are two types of episiotomy: median episiotomy, you can see in the red line, and lateral and the mediolateral episiotomy. In the median episiotomy, the incision begins at the frenulum of labia minora and proceeds backwards in the midline up to the external anal sphincter. It cuts through the skin, vaginal wall, perineal body and superficial transverse perineal muscles. Sometimes it may cut the external anal sphincter. Now mediolateral episiotomy is an incision begins at the labia minora and proceeds laterally at an angle of 45 degrees. It cuts through the skin, vaginal wall and bulbospongiosum muscle.